It is our culture to admit error because we know that in spite of the best of our efforts, we are human. We are not perfect.
JAMB was exposed for sabotaging candidates from the Southeast who sat for the exam. But that wasn't merely the last straw that broke the camel's back. JAMB has been a bundle of atrocities since 2016 when the current registrar, Professor Oloyede, as the saying goes, Nigeria is a weapon fashioned against itself and its people. The deliberate corrupt practices of those in positions of authority directly inflict deep wound injuries in the soul and unity of Nigeria. This was exactly what happened in JAMB. Under former President Muhammadu Buhari, it was a clear case of nepotism. On the 20th of August 2021, a crass abuse of office and grand corruption happened in JAMB, and the incident kept secret. Professor Oloyede had completed his 5-year tenure as JAMB Registrar and was headed for a compulsory exit. That year and in the same period, there were 13 other heads of government agencies whose tenure expired and they were replaced. On August 2nd, 2021, a handover ceremony held. He formally handed over to the then Director, Information Technology Services, Dr Fabian Okoro, who was the most senior management staff of JAMB. The staff of the board had sent him farewell wishes and everyone moved on. But about 2 weeks later, in a quick and sudden twist, an absurd permutation changed the system and everything. To everyone's shock, Professor Oloyede was sneaked back into office. Buhari secretly removed Dr. Fabian Okoro, an Igbo man from the Southeast, and brought back Professor Oloyede from Kwara State, a man who had finished serving for 5 years and didn't record good success. It was also inspiring and shocking that out of the 13 heads of government agencies who retired in that year, and at the same time, only Oloyede was returned. A look at Professor Oloyede's profiles explains why he found unusual favor from Buhari and was returned to office in such a manner that violates JAMB's code of conduct and ethics. He is a radical Muslim and shares the same religious belief with Buhari. In much of his career, he had practiced Islam and taught in Islamic schools. In fact, he became a professor in Islamic jurisprudence. He was said to be a close friend of Adamu, who was the Minister of Education under Buhari. Reports say Adamu helped to push for his re-election. But the most prominent of the explanations to why Professor Oloyede was secretly returned for a second tenure as JAMB Registrar was that Buhari, Adamu, and the key decision makers at the presidency did not like the man who should have replaced Oloyede, which is Dr. Fabian Okoro, an Igbo man. The only explainable reason is that Dr. Fabian Okoro is Igbo from the Southeast. Buhari sent in Oloyede's reappointment on August 19th in a secret and cunning way. Even the media were not carried along. The move immediately caused disaffection and conflict in the ranks of JAMB leadership. Many shared the opinion that Oloyede should have honorably retired, like the other 13 heads of government agencies. But Buhari and co. did not care. They simply didn't want an Igbo man to succeed Professor Oloyede. It was a matter of time before things went wrong and the cracks began to show. In no time at all, After Oloyede took over office the second time, news and allegations of wanton corruption, reckless abuse of office, and nepotism leaked. Some of such allegations came from Mr. Yisa Usman, the then Deputy Director of JAMB. He exposed how Professor Oloyede oversaw a history of corruption and abuse of office, especially in his illicit second term. Of course, Mr. Usman was punished for revealing the truth. It has become obvious that Professor Oloyede's secret and unusual return as JAMB Registrar after his tenure expired and he bowed out was a staged stunt born out of nepotism and deep-end corruption, the vices that reflect Nigeria's nature. And refusing Fabian Okoro, an Igbo man, the opportunity of rightful promotion bears the debt of injustice against the Igbo tribe. Share this video and subscribe to this channel and turn on your notification for our next video. You don't want to miss it.
Free Life Media.